spicy meatball. All right, so here we go. We got a story out of Berkeley, California. Berkeley police officer fired after shooting at robbery getaway car. Officer Sherry Miller committed no crime, but she did violate city policy, according to the police investigation, and ultimately lost her job. That's a pretty spicy one. Let's get into the audio here. I'm very curious into seeing. So here we go. So we're seeing a little bit of an altercation here, and I'm wondering what's gonna happen next. Because I mean, again, she shot at the vehicle. And okay, yeah. Okay, so they're getting away. Got into the car.
Let me see your hands now.
No, I'm not.
Let me see your hands now.
Not doing nothing.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, I'm not.
Get back over here now.
Excuse me. Oh.
Get back over here now.
I was trying to get my
Get
keys.
over here now.
I was trying to get my keys.
Okay, so she's got him at gunpoint there.
Are you sure?
Turn the car off now. Turn the car off now. Turn the car off. Turn the car off now. Okay. Turn the car off now. What are you doing? Turn the car off.
Yeah, you gotta turn the car off at that point, but lady, you gotta back up. Wow. Okay, you just start shooting. Wow, you just start shooting. Yeah, that is. Yeah, because you start shooting, you're not considering that not everybody in that car. Yeah, you should have been fired. Yeah, that is pretty obvious. That's an obvious termination there. Because you're just shooting like all willy-nilly. You don't know who else is in that car, man. Oh boy, that is yeah, I'm not shocked that she got fired. I'm not shocked at that. The Berkeley police officer who shot her gun striking a vehicle linked to a robbery call last summer was found to have committed no crime but violated the department's deadly force rules and was fired, Berkeley side has learned. Officer Shirley Miller's gunfire struck the getaway car but hit no one inside of it, the police investigation found. 1 month after the shooting, Berkeley Police Chief Andrew Greenwood, who retired Friday, found that Miller had violated BPD's use of force and vehicle pursuit policies when she fired her gun, according to records released by the department in response to a public records at request from Berkeley's side. According to those records, Miller insisted she tried to shoot the driver, not his blue Ford Fusion, but because she thought he might run her over.
That's bullshit. Stop lying.
Wait a minute. So if you thought you were going to run her over, the first thing that you would do was back up, right? Because a car can't run you over if you're not near it. But you kept walking more and more towards the car. You got to back up at some point. You got to protect yourself at some point, right? If that car had swung around wildly, she would have gotten ran over. So you were putting yourself in danger. If you look it up, a frame by frame reference as it's going to go on to say here, you can see the problem here. Her attorney said Miller lost her footing, which changed to the trajectory of her aim.
That's bullshit. Stop lying.
That sounds like a typical cop bullshit excuse, right? She lost her footing, which changed the trajectory of her aim.
Nigga, that's that bullshit.
Really? You want me to believe that? I lost my footing. Maybe the reason why you lost your footing is because you were staying so close to the goddamn car. When you have a gun, you don't have to be so goddamn close. You also have a loudspeaker. You don't have to be so close when you have a gun. Right? His office produced a frame-by-frame analysis backing up his claims, but police investigators who reviewed the evidence were not convinced. The July 2020 shooting in the parking lot of the North Berkeley CVS at 1451 Shattuck Avenue just south of Rose Street, was BPD's first officer-involved shooting since 2012. And the first one the agency handled after SB 1421 went into effect in 2019. The law dramatically altered the ability of the public and the press to obtain previously highly confidential police personnel records. After those records were released for the CVS shooting, Berkeley side reviewed approximately 65 police reports, transcripts, warrants, and other investigative documents spanning more than 300 pages, as well as approximately 700 photographs and videos to learn how the department investigated its first officer-involved shooting in nearly a decade. That is interesting. On the night of the shooting, Sherry Miller was immediately placed on paid leave pending the outcome of 2 parallel investigations by BPD's Homicide and Internal Affairs units. The Alameda County District Attorney's Office was notified but did not conduct its own investigation because the shooting was non-fatal, the DA's office said. The alleged driver from the getaway car has been charged with felony robbery. The outcome of that case is pending. On September 1st, 2020, Greenwood informed Miller of his decision to let her go. Miller appealed that decision twice, but was unsuccessful. Miller's attorney, Harry Stein of San Francisco-based Whines, Lucia Stern, St. Phil, and Silver told the city BPD investigators had drawn the wrong conclusions when they reviewed evidence from the shooting. And Stern insisted Miller, who had worked at BPD for about 22 months at the time of the shooting, could learn from her mistakes. Again, it's very, very interesting that the driver and the vehicle was punished, but also the officer as well. So it's not like the driver just got away with what he did. There was, again, given what I saw on that footage, there should have been some kind of charges to that driver. However, that does not justify what that officer did. That does not justify what that officer did. Sherry Miller herself said during her appeal hearings that there had been no malice behind the shooting and that she had been forced to make a decision whether it was my life or theirs. She said she had watched video from that night repeatedly and wished she had made different choices. So I bet you would. I bet you would. You would have made some different choices. Again, now that laws are changing, now that people are putting a thicker microscope on police actions, now that they're getting fired for decisions that they're making, you're suddenly seeing a sudden change. Like, for example, this is their first officer-involved shooting in nearly a freaking decade. Do you understand what that usually means? It usually means laws have changed. It usually means that there's a lot more accountability, whereas police officers can't just get away with things now. So you're already seeing the difference here. The citizen who committed a crime is still punished, but the officer doesn't just doesn't just get to keep their freaking job. Which, let's be honest, it's not what we want. We want jail too. We want them to go behind bars. However, the one thing that I must stress is that this is better than what we would usually get, right? There's some officers who just shoot at people, do crazy shit, and they keep their job at the same department. At least now, her name is out there. We know who she is now. That's better than what we would have gotten a freaking decade ago. That's much better. I've been black all my damn life, and I gotta tell you, I come out of South Carolina, one of the worst states for police violence, and I gotta tell you, I'm seeing changes there that brings a tear to my damn eyes, because my people have been begging for this shit. We've been pleading for this shit. That's why I think every protester, every activist, y'all are the real ones, man. Y'all made our lives better by making things like this possible. I know what I did wasn't perfect, Miller told the city. Every time I watch this video, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I could have done so many things better. And that's what I was doing after everything transpired. That's what I've been doing every day since. You know, it happened. Well, that's no excuse. That's no excuse. See, you can't say, because again, officers barely get training as it is. So when you violate the little bit of training that you do get, I have no problem with you being let go. Personally, if a citizen had to just fire like that, given California's ridiculous gun control laws, I wonder what would have happened to a citizen had they attempted a citizen's arrest and had they just fired like that. Would they be in prison? I'm just curious. I just want to know. I'm very, very curious. I'm very, very curious. That's something that I would love to know. It's something that I would love to know. So here's a little letter from the deputy city manager, David White. It says, this letter serves as a final notice of your release from probationary employment with the city of Berkeley under section 34.5 of the Memorandum of Understanding between the city and Berkeley Police Association. Due to the particular circumstances surrounding your release from probation, the city provided you an opportunity for a name clearing hearing using the Luby hearing procedures outlined in section 40.8.5.2 of the BPA MOU. You attended a name clearing here with Chief Greenwood on October 9th, 2020, and a second name clearing hearing with me, the city's manager, designated representative, on November 11th, 2020. Copies of the recordings of your statements during these name clearing hearings will be included in your personnel record. You will be separated from city service effective December 4th, 2020. This decision is final and not subject to further review. Wow. So again, when stuff like this starts happening, it brings a smile to my face, baby. Because that means that police officers are facing some actual consequences. It is not perfect. It's not what we all wanted. We want more punishment. We want jail time. I understand that. However, we are getting some measure of justice. And to me, that is an improvement. We shouldn't keep pushing. We shouldn't stop pushing. But Miss Miller, I'm glad that you no longer have a job as a police officer. And I'm glad that we're finally seeing changes, because it's been a long time coming.